You know what? I gotta say, it stuck the landing. Despite what you may say from the beginning to the end, the crappy subtitles, to some of the weird decisions they made throughout the plot, you will have to admit that they really stuck that landing. The execution was at least pretty great. I'll have to admit, it was good. It was open ending. It was showing how there's hope in a despairing world. It wasn't like everything just ends or something like that. It wasn't rushed. There's no way they could have made a good, perfect ending to the story, especially doing something that big of a threat. It continues on, battling for the hope of humanity. A clash of ideals. And I have to say, I enjoyed it, despite its very, very shitty subtitles. Dear God. Sometimes you think the script was done on purpose. Was this done by a generator or something? Not human. There's no way a human did these subtitles. Like, the subtitles for last episode were actually pretty decent, I'm not gonna lie. But the ones throughout the rest of the episodes, they were god awful. It's like, there's no way a human looked at this and said, yeah, this is passable. This had to have been an AI or a computer generated translations, and they just sent it off. And that was it. No one bothered to change it because I guess they couldn't do it, but they did the best they could with it because nobody else is giving the thing any good treatment until it reaches Disney Plus. But damn, that that Disney does need to do a better job. The same thing with Netflix. They don't care about it until it gets in their hands, and they'll see what they can do with it. That's how it usually is for these kind of products, unfortunately. But nonetheless, I still had my entertainment with it. From the comment reading, like, seriously, of all the anime I watched this season, this is the only anime where I really look forward to the comments on it. And it was just hilarious, you know. This anime just took me for a ride, even without the story itself. It was the things that are going on around it, is what just got me off, man. Like, seriously? The swastika symbol in the corner, the terrible dialogue. It was just in the comments just saying what they wanted to say. Like, God. Now, the ideals of the AI versus the Humanitos units, you know, which were created to preserve and protect humanity, and the AI who just want to preserve the Earth itself. Kind of like the shield hero ideology with the Fenolio Queen, where she wanted to ask Nafumi about, are you fighting for the sake of humanity, or are you fighting for the sake of the Earth? Each one will lead you to a different ending. One will be faster than the other, but it'll cost a great sacrifice. So that was his idea was. You know, Lunatic's idea was to preserve the Earth. You know, like this version of humanity is screwed. It can't go anywhere. It has reached its peak. It can't really evolve to anything, no matter how hard they try. They kind of screw themselves over. So because of that, she was like, okay, let's wipe them out and wait for a new civilization to be created. And then she'll observe that. And she don't even have faith in the next civilization that could come to be. So instead, she's like, when I reserve that one, take its data, I'll destroy it again, and then we'll restart the process. Pretty much, she saw herself as a god, you know, comparing God to an AI. Which some people actually did agree that it's not so far off. You know, we feel like God has these human emotions. Probably it doesn't have it, because the angels themselves don't have emotions either. Maybe it's just a process, a very powerful ball of mass or spinning spiral, a very powerful spinning spiral, just giving out data, power, whatever. A lot of people came with that theory, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, a lot of lives were lost from Dead Master, Strength, Freedom, Black Rock Shooter herself, and even the Colonel's life too. The only ones who really survived, technically really survived, was I guess was Monica, Charlotte, and the siblings, Noriko and Maya. In a way, they survived. I never understood why Maya looked the way she did. How she had one normal eye and the other eye was different. Maybe she was born that way, or maybe she was going through a process. But things ended up very badly. Like Earth left off the worse it was. The Iron Sea was absorbed, but it was stopped. The army itself went into hibernation. and everything, I guess, for Lunatic's plans were put on hold. Is what Black Rock Shooter did. Black Rock Shooter thought, humanity's done for, since she was sitting down the moonflakes, were like warheads in a way, which was destroying the Earth. And she's like, since humanity's gone, I guess she doesn't need to hold back. She was only holding back the entire time because she had to stay there to fight for humanity. But since humanity's gone, she says, I might as well just take you with me, going to full power and just destroying Lunatic in the end. Well, a piece of Lunatic, anyways. The real Lunatic, the stronger one, is up in space, and she seems to be very big and powerful compared to the one they were fighting. The one they were fighting was very invincible. Like, it was almost hard to get her. She took out everybody and everything all on her own. So that explains a lot. And what happened to Mia at the end, how she got hit by one of the moonflakes anyways, but they had to save her body by turning to a prosciutto humilius unit, so now she can live on just as long as the other ones. But I guess Noriko is the one. He became the colonel in a way. He became the colonel, very strong and demanding and stuff. Like, okay, colonel. And it's to the point where they even forget culture. You see Strength and Deadmaster back as children, and you see them playing baseball, but playing catch. And Charlotte's like, hey, you can make it to the major leagues. And you're like, what is that? She doesn't even know what the major leagues is. All she knows is that it's something she heard a long time ago because she was playing catch. To the point that humanity is so far lost that they don't even know the things that they're doing has some sort of meaning or impact. They don't know what it means. It's kind of like a true post-apocalyptic world where you're doing things you don't know the meaning behind those things. You just hear rumors about it, and you'll take it to a different interpretation of it. So that was interesting. So Black Track is still alive as well. So now they're all about to go off to the moon because remember, the AI had to rest and wait for 200 years, but 50 years only passed. So therefore, the AI is still not on schedule because they had to wait, 150 more years in order to, be back to complete restoration. But they can't do that because humanity is like, yeah, we're not going to give you any more time. Okay, so everything is screwed at the end, and of course they had to play the original Black Rock Shooter opening. Some people kind of wish it was a video game one, where it was by 1OK Rock. I think it was called Back On. Yeah, that one. But no, it's not that one. It's the other anime, based off the origins of Black Rock Shooter, the actual theme song of hers. They played, which is pretty nice. And of course, Black Rock Shooter herself is back. Question is how? Maybe when she crashed, she put herself back to Lighthouse number 8, because she was in a worse condition than she was before. So I'm guessing a very tiny part of her survived, and she was put into Lighthouse number 8, I guess. I guess Lighthouse number 8 wasn't destroyed during the falling moon. Well, I guess some will call it the crying moon, the day the moon cried, because pieces of it was falling down, like meteorites or tears. So she survived that in Lighthouse number 8, recreating her body. And then when it was time to go to the moon, she decided to join them. She didn't want to be their crutch, their anchor in a way, or they'll find a way to stand up for themselves and to evolve on their own. So when it came to the final battle and they proved they were worthy enough, she would come out of hiding and go back into the battle. That's my only explanation of the entire thing. I can't think of any other way this could go. But either way, I enjoyed it. Will there be a season 2? I'm not sure. It's a possibility. Well, yeah, I believe there could be, but I don't think there will be. I would like to, because I can always use more Black Rock Shooter in my life. It seems like we have to wait a handful of years to get some new content of Black Rock Shooter, but we will get some figurines out. Wow. So I enjoyed this. It was nice. It was good despite what people said about it. I enjoyed it. it was my guilty little pleasure I enjoyed. And I will be looking forward to whatever they come up with next. Will be a supernatural outlook, will be a psychological outlook. Either way, there'll always be a different Black Rock shooter with the same kind of will. So I look forward to that. So that's like your video. Thanks for watching to the very end. And if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon to subscribe to the Madcrown on Anime. Signing out.